off into the to the council chamber, and he lets you off. You guys show him your credentials, and he says, "Ah." The guard says, "Ah, did you bring a slave with you? What's up with the cloaked one there?"
She is fine. It's just that her condition makes her sensitive to the sun and such, and so we have to kind of keep her shrouded.
She's with you, right? Yeah,
yes.
All right, head on in, and you guys head on in and up to Moozerog's office. Hooray!
Yay!
Hooray!
I'm getting somewhere.
You enter his office, and he says, "Hello."
Councilman Roserog, we have some unfortunate news. I believe.
We bring very bad news from Felbrig.
You know how Felbrig was repelling the demon armies, and
Well, they were holding them off last I heard. Yes.
yeah, they weren't doing that.
Oh my, Felbrig's fallen.
It
No.
it fell a while ago. Well, not in a military sense, but in a
Felbrig
Diplomatic
allied itself
sense.
with the Demon Baron.
How
And
so?
Felbrig himself had become a vampire. And we have this diary dictating Felbrig's thoughts and leads up to a peace treaty he signed with the Demon Baron.
Hmm. Signed
And
a peace
also
treaty with him.
this scroll, but I don't recognize the seal.
Nor do I. It seems rather evil. Well, we'll have to investigate this. Any of you happen to be trained in the arcane arts? Or perhaps you have a better sense of magic than I do.
Well, I just looked at Dother. Have you had a chance to look at it?
not the scroll. No.
Could you tell me if this scroll is magically bound by any chance? Or
Could
trapped? Or
I'd do an Arcana check on it.
if you could. I'm sorry, was that your Arcana check to 17?
Yes.
No, you determined that this is not magic at all.
I don't think it's magic. Of course, I seem to suck at Arcana checks a lot, so it's that plus 10 never does
This
anything.
Arcana check you talk of.
Mr. Moozerog.
What? What?
Councilman Moozerog, perhaps we should have a scholar investigate this first. We need to know who that seal is from.
Yes, indeed, we should.
But we bring more news from Felbrig. We told you that Felbrig was a vampire, yes?
Yes,
We killed him.
I see.
Dead, his body is chopped in pieces and now laying in the bottom of the ocean, chained up in a cloak.
That might be a problem.
It probably will be. Felbrig is without a leader right now, but the people are completely helpless, and he has an entire dungeon of feeding people to feed on.
The people of Felbrig have lost all sense of hope. They no longer believe that the gods will come to save them. The guards are corrupt. The people who could not pay their taxes were slaughtered and fed to animals. I would hesitate to say that things were any better there than if the demons armies had overrun the city.
That's a shitty situation.
Yes,
That's
but
Really crappy situation. So you have a plan, I hope?
well, we were hoping we could get your guidance first. I trust the Council of Wyrmwick before I trust my own judgment on this sort of matter.
Well, if we don't act fast, and I suspect it's already been... How long did it take you to travel?
3 days.
3 days? I suspect they've already learned of their leader's demise. Or if they haven't learned of it, then surely they've suspected that he's gone. We'd have to act fast. Otherwise we'll have a refugee crisis on our hands, and I dread seeing any refugee trekking across that desert to get here. We could install a puppet government, or have someone pose as Felbrigg for a while. It would be difficult, since he's now dead, and we don't know exactly how he acted in private. But we could have perhaps our own guards sort of become the Felbrigg Castle Guard, and since he was a vampire, I'm sure he was a recluse, so maybe that wouldn't be too odd for the people. We do know how their government worked. We know how orders were handed down in through the ranks. We could do something like that, though if you're not comfortable with that, it may be best if we came up with another idea.
As a temporary solution, it's not bad, at least until we can find a way to fend off the Demon Baron, but in time, it might be necessary for Wyrmwick to step in full and handle the matters of Felbrigg more closely.
We'll try, obviously. I mean, we don't need to keep them in, we don't need to have them keep, what am I saying? We don't need to keep them in the dark onto what's going on for too long, but if the Demon Baron were to find out what happened, then perhaps that peace treaty wouldn't be upheld. So we need to keep that in mind as well. I'll have one of my best, I'll look into it. I'll have one of my best, one of my better operatives look into this and see what can be done. Perhaps we can just, have the refugees come to Wyrmwick, or maybe even have them hole up in Holman Falls for a while, as we've started to, build a fort out there.
Excellent.
Holman Falls is in need of a populace.
Well, Holman Falls is in need of a lot of things. But I think right now we'll have a few operatives enter into Felbrigg and see what's happening there. And then assess the situation from there, and perhaps we can stabilize the situation before things collapse into chaos.
Thank you, Councilman.
No, thank you for reporting to me on this. I was glad. I'm glad that we didn't give them any gold because of their so-called secret treaty.
Indeed.
So you want to know how you can repel the invasion? Well, let's see. Give me 8,000 gold and I'll tell you. Okay, here's what you do. Give up!
Well,
Have you heard anything from Watchman's North? Any updates on the situation?
no, only that the Demon Baron himself seems to be held there for now. Is that where you head to, then?
We were thinking that, yes, but
Well,
the Demon Baron being there, that could make things a bit more complicated than thought.
well, it's only been 6 days since we've last spoken.
So
And
things might have.
I haven't really received any new word from Watchman's North. I don't have a stream of information coming in every day. Perhaps he's not there. Perhaps he has fortified the defenses enough to where he's pleased to leave it there. Perhaps he's marching on Collins Grove. I don't know, but surely he's not to be trifled with.
Of course, I believe heading north is pretty much our next goal, anyways. Whether it's to Collin Grove, Watchman's North, or anywhere else in that region, for the time being.
Yes, well, I have a lot to do, so if you'll excuse me, I have to set this little mission up for Felbrigg.
Thank you, Councilman. We're sorry to take up your time.
Thank you. And he sees you at his office.
Before we return to the ship, I want to have Panty Grabs take me to the Church of Bahamut.
Okay. Do you want everyone with you, or do you want to go by yourself?
If like one person wants to go with me, that's cool.
I'll come with.
Okay, you and John. Penny Krabs takes you to the ship, and then you and John, Kathleen and John, head off to the Church of Bahamut. Whee!
Now that those have got a chance, he's going to go to Church of Corellon.
Okay. Pretty easy to find it in Wyrmwick.
Yeah.
Ow.
If you guys actually want to play that out, like going to Bahamut or...
Yeah, I don't know what you guys want to do exactly.
Yeah, well, I want to pray to Bahamut, see if I can
Okay.
get a chance to talk to him.
I'll just wait outside.
Alright, you start praying, and several minutes later you enter a vision, and your sight goes blurry. It goes blurry, but eventually focuses in, and you're standing on a green plain. a plain of grass, with an old man at the other end, and he says to you, "Kathleen, it is good to see you again."
It is good to see you again, Bahamut, though I wish it could be under better circumstances. I don't know if you have this ability or not, but do you have the ability to tell if people are dead? Can you sense if they've left this world?
Can I sense if they've left the world? I
There's
could try.
There's a man I met on the ocean. He was a pirate. We spared his life and learned of his family in Felbrig. I convinced him to give up his life of crime, and he's currently assisting the Church of Bahamut over in Calling Grove. But when we went to Felbrig to find his family, we learned that they are most likely dead, and I want to be sure of that before I bring him that news.
I have no good news for you, Firstborn. They are indeed dead.
Is there anything you can do to bring them back?
I've meddled enough in the affairs of mortals. If I were to counter Tiamat's power even more than what I've already done by having a Firstborn, then I fear the balance of power here, at least in my plane, would be upset, and your world wouldn't survive a all-out war among the gods.
Is there anything I can do? Anything? I know what it's like to lose a family.
Sometimes, young one, people die, and you can't stop it.
I understand.
Take heed, though, that he is still alive, and yet he can still build a life for himself, though he'll go through some hard times, I'm sure. Watch out for him, if you will. Maybe that'll make you feel better. Just say hi to him once in a while, and then eventually you'll be able to see him through this.
I will. There are other things I want to ask you, though.
Of course.
Bahamut. We learned that the Demon Baron is at Watchman North, or at least that's what reports say. Do you know if his presence actually there?
He was at Watchman's North. I believe he prepares to leave soon. He has indeed fortified his defenses at North, and at the several other towers as well. Once Watchman's South had fallen, a great many of his plans were disrupted, and I believe he is not very happy about that.
Understandable. Last thing I want to ask is regarding the orbs. Is there any way to undo the effects the orbs cause?
What do you mean?
My friend Denora recently found the white orb, and it cost her sight. It cost her her soul.
As it caused Greg his soul.
Yeah, these orbs are taking the souls of my friends, my companions. Is there any way to undo what's happening to them?
There is a way. You would have to destroy the orbs.
Destroy the orbs and they'll be alright? They'll get their souls back? Would Denora get her sight back?
Denora would be restored in a way, yes.
How do we do that?
Well, the carrier of the orb, the host, well, they'll know how to do it. Basically, you're going to fight something very powerful and very dangerous, and I do not envy you in that task.
Well, that's something that we'll keep out in the future, knowing we at least have hope is all I'm really looking forward to. Thank you, Bahamut, Dad, Dragon thing. I'm gonna go now.
Have you given any more thought into becoming my firstborn?
I have.
Have you now? And do you have a decision?
What would it take to become the firstborn?
Well, completing the ritual is nigh impossible now. The Undercrypt is buried under God knows, I know. Under how much?
I know how much.
I know how much, excuse me. The Undercrypt is buried, and getting there would be very difficult for you. Very difficult for anyone. The ritual itself, the the symbols of the ritual were never finished and complete.